So today in class we were peer reviewing each other's papers about Jane Eyre, and it was just completely silent. I hated the whole thing. But then, like, in the middle of it, like an hour into it, just silence, this kid goes, James, and turns around, and James is like, He goes, the school Jane went to was called Rowhead, not Roe Wade. It's not Roe versus Wade.
This will be the 8th episode of the Soggy Boiz podcast. And as I'm doing, I'll be linking my Instagram and print shop in the description. But this time we have Vivi back on from last episode. And we have Patti from, I think, episode 4 or 5, I believe. And I'll be linking her YouTube and I guess TikTok in the description. And I'll also be linking Vivi's Instagram in the description if y'all want to go check those out. But for this episode, I guess we'll be going over, we're going to be picking random words. And I guess we're going to try to associate just hidden, like, we're going to unlock some deep secret memories with some like secret words we're going to find along the way and just tell stories about them. So Vivi is the word master, I guess.
So the first word for today is thermesthesia, sensitivity to heat or cold.
Okay, so really quick. Okay, so whenever I was little, a thermometer broke at my grandma's house. This is the grandma where I might have found that body at the beach that one time. Yeah, and the mercury is just in a tube, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I was little, I used to just like play with this mercury tube all the time, and it's still there. And every time I go there, I'd hang out and it's a mercury tube, and I think that's why I'm gonna die whenever I reach like 30.
You should just drink the mercury. Just get it over
every day. Every time I go, I consider smashing it with a hammer and drinking it.
That's like your plan B if you ever like things are going too bad in life. The cops are coming for you. This and that. You just take a tiny hammer.
Everybody gangsta till I take a visit to grandma's.
So what was the definition of the word?
Sensitivity to heat or cold.
Mine's not as interesting, but I know that I've definitely since I'm gonna go into my running rant. Uh-huh. No, but whenever I was man. I'm shin splint boy.
Super proud of getting shin splint. You don't stretch.
That's what I started stretching, but Houston summers are the absolute worst because it's the 110 degree heat plus the 100% humidity. So like the water and the air is 110 degrees as well as just the sun. And I remember when I first started running, it was like absolutely horrible because it was in the summer. And by the end of the second summer I'd been running straight, it would just be like 110. I'd go running and feel fine afterwards. I mean, I'd almost pass out, but like I'd be like, nah, I feel fine. I don't know. It's not as interesting. It reminded me of just easier to run in the heat. Mm-hmm. Does Vivi have a story about heat sensitivity?
I don't have a story, but if y'all want like a small Spanish lesson, that word in Spanish, I never knew there was an English word for it. But in Spanish, it's called friolente, which means being sensitive to, it means more being sensitive to cold. And like half the time I feel like I am sensitive to like the cold, where I get colder before anyone else, and then half the time I'm fine. So, but yeah, friolente, Spanish word for people who get cold easily.
Okay, what's the next word? Are these just randomizing words?
This is random word generator.
What's that one?
Getting some weird ones.
But that's what we want.
Okay, fine. Here's one. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's gridolin or gridolin, which is violet gray. AKA the colors Patti is wearing.
Okay, this is we're gonna switch from being fun to being sad. I remember one time, this was one of the last times that I saw my grandpa alive, you know. It was around Christmas time. He passed away on the 21st. But I think it was the 21st. But yeah, we were in the hospital, and all the kids were in the room trying to see him, and we were all kind of sad, and my aunt was like, look, he's Santa Claus, and started tucking tissues, like, from the thing into his, like, eyes.
What? What?
And he's just sitting there, he didn't say anything, like, he's still, like, conscious.
Poor grandpa's dying, and who, your aunt?
Look, he's Santa Claus.
Who is it?
It was my aunt.
Your aunt just starts stuffing?
Yeah, and we didn't know it was how, like, it wasn't, like, into his oxygen tube. It was, like, because there was, like, wires all around him. She was, like, lightly tucking him. She's like, look, it's Santa. And, like, it was trying to cheer us up, and we were, like, trying to laugh to ease the mood.
That's traumatizing, though.
I remember seeing that and being, like, man, this is so great, because I was, like, being told, like, look at how fun this is, and my parents were, like, really stressed out, like, because they knew that he was going to pass away soon. I'm like, man, they're being such downers. I'm having a great time in here. And it was only just now that I realized that was extremely traumatizing.
Speaking of, like, hospitals and stuff, whenever my grandma was in the hospital getting her, she had to get colon surgery because she had colon cancer, which she decided she was having, like, a ton of pain in her abdomen, and my grandma thought it was a good idea to just not tell anyone. She would probably still be alive today, maybe.
Oh my gosh!
She told. I guess she felt like she didn't want to bother us. Maybe, like, she didn't think it was anything serious. Like, oh, it's just something I would get through it. But
it's like those phantom pains that just randomly show up in your chest cavity. You're like, oh, this is how I die.
Yeah, like we were just sitting there, and then you just feel like a heart attack, and then it goes away. You're like, okay,
everything's fine.
But she was like crazy pain, and then she was just, when she finally, like, couldn't, like, deal with it anymore, she couldn't get out of bed. Whenever we put her, we decided it was best to, like, we didn't, like, put her into a retirement home kind of thing, but, like, there was an elderly community that you could, like, kind of apartment complex you could put her in for, like, kind of rich old people.
Rich old people.
And one day she just, like, didn't pick up the phone, and, like, we showed up and she just couldn't get out of bed, and then we took her to the hospital, and they're like, her colon has holes in it big enough to put your finger through. And we're like, that's not great. And so when I'd go to my mom would go to the hospital every day to see her, and I would go along too, but I was kind of too little to kind of realize how serious it was, that, like, she was probably gonna die soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just go to the hospital, and I guess, like, my favorite part of the hospital when I was that age is how good the food was.
Hospital food.
And then, like, I would go, like, half the reason to go see my grandma, but then I was also just like, bro, I want that hospital food.
I remember a secret memory.
She just unlocked. I saw her reaction.
It was okay. So you remember the Santa Claus thing I just said?
Yeah.
This is the same grandpa, right?
Okay.
This is after his surgery. Whenever they were trying to give him a surgery before that to try to help, this hospital we went to, it was like a tiny world inside. Oh. Like, it was like a tiny house. The carpet, it looked like BizTown. It looked like that thing that they'd send us to, where it was like a fake city when we were kids, and, like, it was so, like, we were there, like, past midnight, like, the hospital was like, you need to get out, and we were like, no. And so we were just out there, like, it was, like, against the law, we were just in there, and it was so scary, because, like, everything that was usually, like, fountains were off. It was, like, the most liminal space I've ever been in, and the only, like, power that was working was the light overhead in this lobby. It was just a single light on us, no staff. You could hear people, like, wailing in the back rooms, and a single TV on that was showing The Simpsons. And I don't remember, I think it was that episode where Homer tries to cheat on his wife, and it was really sad. But the whole time I was like, I want to go home and watch Wild Kratts. So yeah.
But, like, just the hospital, I mean, it wasn't like that. It was like Tomball Regional Hospital. It's a nice hospital. But the cafeteria food was so damn good. Like, oh, it was so good. Like, cause I was at that age where I just didn't really understand the seriousness of, like, damn, your grandparents in the hospital for colon cancer. Let's go get some chicken strips at the food court. I don't know. It's just what I remembered, because I was thinking about that recently. I was like, damn, I went to the hospital, like, every day with my mom, and, like, my favorite part was just the food and not, like, seeing my grandma. But, yeah, she lived with us for a while, and then she was like, haha, I have colon cancer.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That reminded me of one memory. So, when I was around, I think I was 14, or, I don't know, between 14 and 16, our grandma Rose, she ended up in the hospital. It happened kind of suddenly. I think I've mentioned before that, like, it seemed sudden at the time, but when I look back on it, it, like, she was in her, like, last days, because she always took really good care of herself. She would, like, dye her hair all the time, so she never had gray hair. It was, like, red, and she wore, like, really nice outfits and everything. But, like, for maybe a month or a little over a month, she would kind of start to wear the same thing each day. She hardly liked to go out. She would nap a whole lot, not really like to get out of the house. And I remember I would also, like, curl her hair. Sometimes she, she would have me, like, curl her hair with a iron. And, like, the last maybe 2 weeks before she went to the hospital, I noticed when I was curling her hair, it would, like, fall flat shortly after. Oh. Yeah. And I was like, when I look back, I was like, oh, yeah, those are very much signs of a person's last days coming. But she was with us for, with, like, me and my siblings and my mom were in our little apartment in Modesto. And she ended up having to go to the hospital because she had lung cancer. No, she didn't have lung cancer, but she only had one lung working.
Where'd the other one go?
It wasn't working. She was like surviving on like I forgot the way they worded it, but like she had like issues with her lungs. Anyway, she ended up having to go to the hospital, and I remember we went to like visit her and everything and see how she was doing. And one of those like evenings, like kind of nights when we came back home and like my mom went back to visit her, so I remember coming home and me and my sister, we shared a room, like we've always shared a room. I was like laying in bed and I ended up like falling asleep for a bit, and then I remember having like this nightmare where I was my grandma and I was in a hospital, but I was like in an incubator or something. There was like this glass
they were cooking
over me.
They were unbirthing you. They were pressing Control Z.
But there was like a glass over me. I was like in this glass, you know, like how Snow White in when she like dies and she's like in this glass case.
They Control Z Benjamin Buttoned you.
So I was like that in the hospital, you know. I was me, but like I was where my grandma would be in my mind, and everything was fine, and then this alarm started going off, like this red alarm started blaring, and I think for me that meant that my grandma had died, and I knew that I was dreaming and that she was at the hospital and that I was like, you know, just dreaming in her place. And so when the alarm started going off, I thought she was like dying, and I remember I like half woke up. I'm pretty sure my eyes didn't open, but I was like very aware that I was in my bed at home, that my sister was like in the like her bed next to mine. But the thing is, I couldn't wake myself up. I was having like
sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
I've gotten that a couple of times, but that was happening then, and like I couldn't wake myself up, and I was like trying to like make some sort of noise so that my sister would hear me and like help me wake up. It like wasn't working. I was like in my mind kind of like screaming, but I couldn't like vocally like make any noise. I think I finally like got like one of my feet to move, and then was finally able to wake up. But yeah, that was very interesting. And like after that, later that night, we went back to the hospital, and like I was like freaked out about it.
Did she pass away, or did she wait? Was she still alive?
She was still alive. I don't think she passed away like when I dreamed that she did.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, oh damn.
Yeah,
your incubator dream reverse Benjamin Button. What have you done?
But she was pretty much. I don't think she woke up any time after that either, though. So yeah, that was unfortunate.
I don't remember when my grandma passed. It was like in 2016, maybe. I think she passed away in 2016. I'm not entirely sure, but I know she lived with us for like 2 years on our couch. And then that's kind of when that's like, it all made sense to us whenever we found out she had colon cancer, because like she would just, you know, be on our couch and she would constantly want to lay down, and we'd be like, no, sit up. It's not good to lay down 24 hours a day. She was in like this horrible pain sitting up.
No, sit up. It's not good for you.
I remember because I was living out there before, like at a bed out there. I used to sleep on the couch as well next to my grandma.
I know.
And so I would
just sleep on the same bed as my grandma.
I would be in there to keep reminding her to, you know, sit up. You can't lay down all day. You gotta sit up. But she was literally just in so much pain sitting up, and there was me constantly being like, no, Grandma, you gotta sit up.
Also, you didn't know. So
I didn't. Yeah, I know. I don't.
When I get old, I hope I don't have a grandchild to constantly tell me to like sit up. Like, no, if I want to sleep, let me sleep.
Well, my mom told me to do it. My mom would also do it because we had nurses coming by, and they were just like, it's very important she sits up and walks and stuff. You know.
Also, while we're on the topic of getting old, I have to tell Matt's podcast viewers, just in case if people don't let me do it legally, when I get old and I die, y'all need to just go into international waters on a boat with my body, start chumming the water, so sharks will appear, so they just tear apart my corpse. Please, no one else wants to do this plan but me. I need someone to help me. Anyways,
I mean, I want to be just dumped out of the back of a pickup truck into a ditch and just consumed by slugs.
They just want that like a normal funeral.
I want to become soil for trees.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like I always say, it's all fun and games until there's a forest fire. So what's the next word? Can we get another word?
Yes.
Ooh. That really said, hey guys, remember this one goofy memory? Childhood trauma. Anyways, next word is stinky.
Stinky.
I can't believe we got all of that out of Violet Gray.
Yeah.
But I'm also just going to read each word, and if any of us, even if not all of us have a story, one of us can share, and if not, I'll skip it. But the next one is functionalism. Doctrine emphasizing utility and function.
God, we all know that Patti doesn't function.
I'm getting close to being just a non-functioning person. Non-functioning. I do not function.
I don't know about function.
Yeah, I don't have.
I feel like I've just lost function going through high school.
High school is just them stripping of your abilities. It ends with motor abilities, and you just flop out on the ground on graduation day.
Yeah, you revert to fish.
Patty, did you bite your cup?
I was about to ask about that.
She bit her styrofoam cup, and
We're
there
not
was a
gonna
little
talk
dip
about
in it.
that.
Is that what you put in your sweater?
Did you swallow the styrofoam?
You know, I think we should talk about the next word. Vivi, what's the next word?
The next word is woolsy.
What does that mean?
Cotton and wool blend.
Oh, cotton and wool.
I actually had something to add with the grandparents thing.
Okay.
Back to the grandparents.
Back to the grandparents.
Instead of a beach episode, we had the grandparents.
Yeah, we just talked about grandparents the whole... No, but actually, another grandmother of mine, her name was Ruby. I feel like I feel slightly guilty because I feel like I partially had a small part in how she died.
Oh.
Was she taking a bath and you threw a toaster in it?
Did you give her the old slip, like the slipper slapper?
No. So my grandma Ruby, I used to actually sleep in the same room as her. Originally she had like her big bed, and then there was like a smaller bed where my oldest brother who had autism slept. And I shared a room with my sister, but at some point my parents got in a fight, and then my siblings started sleeping in my mom's room, and I don't know, things just got kind of weird.
Your house got divided into clans.
Yes, we were clans. No, but
like warrior cats, except with dysfunctional family.
But when I was little, I always had a hard time falling asleep. Like, it would take me maybe an hour to fall asleep.
Me
yeah,
too.
I was like, how does everyone else just...
Like, I can't do that either.
How do they just put their head on a pillow and fall asleep? My brother's able to do that. Like,
my mom and dad are able to just, the moment their head hits the pillow, they're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Viv, you can continue with your story, but after you're done, I have to talk to y'all about my insomnia as a kid.
Okay.
Jesus. Anyways, continue.
But yeah, so I had trouble sleeping, so what they did is they had me start sleeping in the same room as my grandma, so that if she needed something at night, I would be, like, most likely awake to help her. So with my grandma... before bed, I actually had her pills memorized, so I knew which pills to give her, like, at what time of day and which ones she needed before she went to bed. I also helped her with, like, watering the plants and stuff.
So you held the power in that relationship.
No, I was, like,
Vivi
the at-home
was
caretaker.
Vivi could decide if she lived or if she died. Vivi was gone.
I had all the power. Yeah, before bed, I would help, I would turn off the TV. We had, like, a huge box TV. I would get her walker ready, make sure she took her pills, and turn off the lights, like, behind her as she walked to her room. And then I would put the TV on for her, take her glasses, etc. And actually, yeah.
So how'd you kill her?
So, so one morning. So I had trouble sleeping, but I also slept in a lot. Like, I would wake up at maybe like 11, and then I would just stay in bed for like an hour because I didn't want to be around everyone. But I remember one morning I kind of like sort of woke up, and
Uncle Sleep Paralysis found you again.
Paralysis. No, actually what happened is my grandma had gotten up, you know, she was like going to the bathroom, and here's what happened. I was like half awake. I, you know, opened my eyes and I saw her like making her way out of the room, etc. Closed my eyes again, heard a thump, opened my eyes, didn't see her. Oh well, going back to sleep.
Did she fall and you just said... Wait, she what?
Fell. Yeah. I woke up like maybe 10 minutes later, like, huh, what? And she had fallen, and there was like a little TV stand at the end of my bed with like a little cubicle under it. She had fallen like with her head kind of into the cubicle.
No.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh shit. I like called my parents. My, you know, dad came in. She hated my dad, by the way, but after that they were kind of okay.
Mm-hmm.
She had gotten like a little bit of bleeding on the side of her head. So my dad helped her up and everything, and when she had fallen, we took her to the hospital and everything. She was like okay, but we took her to the hospital and they found out she got like a hairline fracture on her hip bone. And she didn't die from that, but like after that it just went downhill. She was in the hospital for a bit, and then she got sick shortly after.
Like it was just the thing that really
it was just the thing that kind of pushed everything over.
Yeah,
and I just felt bad that like I literally was supposed to be like taking care of her, and like I heard a thump, didn't see her there,
but
just
also,
thought, oh well.
Okay, two things. First of all, whenever you hear a noise, whenever you're sleeping, like your first instinct isn't like, get up, let's hunt. It's like rejuvenate. I must go back to sleep. It was probably my dream. So like instinctually, if you hear something, you're like, okay, back to night. And second of all, like, you were the sole person taking care of your grandmother, correct?
Well, I was the only person like in that room with her. My mom and dad and everyone like are the opposite side of the room.
Yeah, since you were the sole person, you are a child and you're being forced to take care of this random old woman, and like none of your family's helping you. It would have happened sooner if you weren't there to help.
There's a whole
You're a kid.
thing.
You're bound to make mistakes. You know, should have stepped in the situation.
Like I don't remember the whole thing clearly.
In their house.
Like there's just a whole pattern of her parents not helping with anything, and Vivi just doing everything.
My dad was always like working out in person, but like.
But your mom, who was home to take care of your brother, decided.
Hey, you want to be the caregiver?
Yeah, and me still get paid for it.
But yeah, that happened. I don't remember everything clearly, so I don't know if like how much time passed between me falling back to sleep after not seeing her and like everyone coming in. But yeah, that happened.
My grandma wanted to. She didn't like the idea that she had to have.
This is just sad grandma
story. My grandma didn't like the idea that she had to rely on others to do things. So like in the middle, at like 2 a.m., she'd be like, "I'm going to the bathroom," and just get up. But like she could not do it on her own. Like she would fall 100% of the time. Oof. And so one day I remember I was like falling asleep. I was so comfy in my blanket and everything. and I just open my eyes and I see my grandma like about to fall, and I just jump up and I just like get her, and I'm just like, oh my god, the fuck are you doing?
That's like trust fall.
Like
midnight trust fall.
My grandma.
Let's see if he catches me. That's how you know whether your grandson loves you.
This video is just midnight trust fall.
Yeah, midnight trust fall. My grandma just I wonder if you'll catch me. And then I had to yell from my mom, be like, Nana almost fell. And then my mom freaking out, rushing out there, thinking I said she fell. I'm like, no, she almost fell. And because like shortly before that, my grandma in the morning, but everyone was still awake. My grandma was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And my mom was like, okay, give me a minute, I'll walk you there. And my grandma was like, no. And then she went by herself and like fell into the bathtub.
Oh no! She said emergency bathtub.
She didn't get hurt. She's never been hurt from falling, but she's had a lot of close calls.
Yeah, probably a little bit bruised.
Yeah.
It's funny though that like I guess both of us kind of stayed with our grandmas to like help take care of them.
I'm in that stage right now.
Nice. At one point, I was actually sleeping in the same bed as my grandma. It sounds kind of weird, but like she had like a really big bed, and my brother was still sleeping in his bed, like next to ours. And I guess I was like a really for one, I was a heavy sleeper. For another one, I guess I moved in my sleep a lot. She told me one night I must have been dreaming that I was playing soccer because I kept kicking her. I was like, oh, sorry.
I mean, you said that. I mean, you think it's kind of weird that you slept on your grandma's bed? We're sitting on my dead grandma's bed right now.
What? No.
Wait, you didn't know that, Patti? Yeah. This bed right here. It was a super expensive bed. She used to sleep on this bed.
There's no sheet on it.
She used to sleep on this bed, and then she gave it to me before she died, and I've just been sleeping on it since.
Poor Patti, this is killing her.
Yeah, she didn't die on this bed. She died in the hospital.
I don't want to talk about grandmas anymore.
But this is the bed.
What was the thing you wanted to say, Patti?
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I was terrified of sleeping. Like it was like I was legitimately like terrified. Like I'd like violently sob every night.
I have a whole thing about that.
Like loudly, I'd sob,
no.
and my mom like a bunch of times, my mom would yell at me about it. She's like, we're trying to go to sleep. It's midnight. I'd get up like 5 times a night and try to get my mom because like I was convinced that there were things like in my room coming to get me. And it wasn't like normal, like, hey, there's monsters. Like I was convinced I was going to die every night.
Oh, poor Patti.
It still lingers a bit. Like every time I remember that I have like a bedtime, I get like the hair on the back of my neck stands up. Even though it's so dumb. Like my brain is like, you're going to die. There's gonna be something in there with you. And it's so dumb because it's like there's no monsters under the bed or boogeymen in the closet, but my brain's like, there's something there. There's something, you're not gonna make it out. And I'm like,
Like for me, it's not so much of a fear of something's gonna get me. It's more of just, I don't have like a fear of sleeping. It's more of, I think that sleep is a like terrifying thing, but I have no problem getting to sleep. It's more of just like, you lay in bed, you go into a trance for like 8 hours, you have no control of what's going on around you, or like sometimes control of your body, and you just hope you wake up in the morning. Like, hopefully I just wake up in the morning, hopefully I don't die of a heart attack.
I forgot to
I wonder if it probably picked that up over my voice.
I hope so.
Just the Samsung default notification noise.
Also, I just realized a reason why I might have been so scared is because I have like chronic nightmares.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Like literally, I don't know if I already said this, but the opening sequence to all my dreams is just my fish dying, like in very violent, gruesome ways. Like it's terrible. Not like it's like I'm killing my fish, I'm having a blood. Like it's like I walk in and my fish is like melted on my floor or something like that. It's so sad. But yeah. And then one time, one of the most like vivid memories I have is the first all-nighter I ever pulled. You see, I was 4. And I remember I couldn't sleep, and my parents put a TV in my room. And it was one of those crunchy old ones, you know, the thick ones.
Yeah.
And the only channel I had access to was Disney Channel. And this was back in like the early 2000s. So of course it's like we had The Proud Family. We had Recess was on there. Kim Possible. Except I never watched any of these shows. And Wizards of Waverly Place was on there too. But like I never watched any of these shows because I just watched like Nickelodeon.
I was a Cartoon Network kid.
I just remember like the bottom of my eyelids just burning so much, but I was like, I can't close my eyes or else something's going to kill me. Like it wasn't like the normal like, there's monster. Like I was like convinced like there's something in my room with me. I'm going to die. So I was just like watching Kim Possible, and then at around like 2 in the morning, since my parents fall asleep on the couch all the time because they like watch TV together and then they just fall asleep. My dad got up and turned off the TV. And I remember just the strongest feeling of dread. Like, he walked out and closed the door behind him, and I was like, I'm going to die now. But I waited for him to, like, go back in his room, and I, like, turn on the TV, and I'm like, I'm going to just keep this on for the rest of the night. And then I was just watching it, and then I laid on the remote, and it changed channels. And I'm 4, I can't read numbers, so I don't know which number the Disney Channel was on. So there was just, like, this live-action show where, like, a lot of things were orange, and I'm like, I want to go home. I don't like this at all. And everything was, like, really poor quality and really loud, and I didn't like it. And I didn't sleep that night, and the next day I just had to go to pre-K to act like I was like nothing happened.
Oh, I kind of wait, did you have something to say, Vivi?
No,
I felt like I cut you off.
No, you can.
Okay. This was like a few months ago. I was out in the living room with my sister, and I guess we just couldn't sleep or something. And I was like, you know, I've never went channel surfing where we just went. I was like, we're gonna go from channel 0 all the way to like however high I can get, where it's just, you know, see what's on channel 1. Okay, what's on channel 2, 3, you know, all the way up. There's some whack ass shit.
yeah, bro. Wait, hold on. Have you ever been channel surfing at night and you saw Machete? Like one time I was a kid in a hotel. It was like the one with the stupid looking waffles.
What?
Hilton. I was at the hotel and we were watching in San Antonio. We were watching this thing. We were just channel surfing. It was 3 in the morning. My family couldn't sleep. And there was this show called Machete, where it was a Mexican wrestling show, except the main guy is a dude with dwarfism who's dressed like a scarecrow, and he just like clobbers people. and like the show is just him beating people into their life in complete sadness. And then on the sides they're like naked women. Like,
what?
It's called Machete?
Yeah, they're all like wearing bikinis and stuff. And then like he'll just be saying like Machete just elbowing someone in the trachea, like they're never gonna recover from this, and then it just pans over to like a woman's boobs. Like it's just so weird.
I've never come across that, but I've definitely come across those weird infomercials that are like 30 minutes long. Me and my sister watched this whole 30-minute ad because it was just so absurd. It was about some like some you know those like insoles you can put in your shoes, but this one was like promising to like fix the entirety of your legs.
Not him. It's not.
Okay, because that's his name.
Oh, you probably have to look up TV show or something.
Yeah.
Or wrestling show.
I'm currently searching for him. Y'all can
actually. Wait, were you still?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Just because Patty mentioned the thing like there were like suddenly boobs on the show. If you ever gone to like
that shows the reason why I have autism, by the way.
Oh no! Have you ever gone to like a Mexican, I call them drugstores, but they're not. They're
gas station
stores. If you've ever gone to like a Mexican one, the magazines there are very unique. I went there one time with my like siblings and my mom, and like we were like checking it out, and I looked over at the like magazine section, and there was like one cover with like two very big busted ladies, and they were not wearing bras, they were not wearing clothes, and I was just like looking at it, and my mom was like, "Don't look over there." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, okay.
But I still glanced over there. But like, yeah, just like a lot of the magazines, it's like it's not a porn magazine, but like it's just the front cover right up on there is like.
So a porn magazine.
Yeah, but like the rest of it was like a regular magazine. If you open it up, it's like regular stuff in there. But like there's like some cowgirl in the front with like her boobs out.
Why?
Like...
On the topic of boobs.
We're just gonna talk about boobs now.
I don't have those.
Yeah, one time, I think the first time I'd ever seen someone like naked was I was at this place. We were on vacation at this hot springs. It wasn't a hot springs. It was just a spring, and it was freezing. I remember going in there and crying because it was so cold. Like, because I'm already, like, a really cold person. Like, right now, my hands have no blood in them. I'm freezing right now.
Your hands warm to me.
They've been colder.
You freak. Don't touch me. But straight up, like, I just remember, like, sobbing. I was holding a towel, and I turned around, and there's just a naked woman walking. It was so scary. Why did she do that?
She was naked.
She didn't take care of herself either. And my mom's like, "Oh, that'll happen." And I'm like, "Isn't that illegal? We're in public.
That'll happen."
We're in public. There are children here.
I have never seen a naked a naked person in public. Like, I've never just been walking...
one horn flying purple naked people.
I've never just been walking down the street and go, naked. I mean, I'm naked in the shower, but that's about it. I know.
You get naked in the shower.
I'm pervert, I know. I get naked in the shower.
I'm gonna have to end this podcast right now. We're done.
Vivi,
we have to cancel him.
Do you get naked in the shower?
I refuse to answer questions.
I don't like this conversation anymore. I say we generate a new word.
Okay. Generate a whole new conversation.
New word.
Throw this whole one out. Throw away the whole conversation.
Oops, I'm on machete.
Yeah, I think we've already discussed machete.
While we're waiting, how about we have some
ASMR.
Oh, that's the styrofoam cup.
ASMR.
Impavid. Fearless, undaunted.
Whenever I was little.
Patty's ready.
Whoa.
Whenever I was little, I thought I invented this song about things that lay eggs, right?
What?
In kindergarten. I remember the one thing I remember from kindergarten besides the Ants Go Marching Down dance, whenever we did the Ants Go Marching Down dance, I thought that when we went down, we were actually sinking into the ground because I didn't look down and see my knees bending. Like, I thought we were all just sinking into the floor. But, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay, Patty.
We're not going to talk about that. So, we were learning about things, like how animals, like, had other animals. Like, I'm not talking, like, mating stuff. Like, we were learning about, like, some lay eggs, and some have babies. And the ones that lay eggs are called oviparous. And I thought oviparous was such a fun word that I created an entire song to. I generated an entire song, right? And I remember all of the lyrics. I'm not going to say any of them.
Please.
Sing the song.
The main chorus was oviparous, they lay eggs, oviparous. Like, that's the whole thing, and I imagine...
Oh, we killed Patty.
I just remember there's like this, like, I just imagine people marching to it, like...
Like Japanese death march?
Like the ants go marching down.
They're like marching in the desert, like that one Queen concert, like that many people just marching through the desert, and... When I was like 13.
Yeah, I can't say I've never done that.
Me neither.
When I was 13, I found out my sister forced me to watch Prince of Egypt. My tongue is numb. My sister forced me to watch Prince of Egypt. I found out I just copied the entire song "Deliver Us" from Prince of Egypt despite not hearing it. The people marching through the desert was the Jews trying to escape the Egyptians. And instead of oviparous, they lay eggs, oviparous, it was "Deliver Us. Hear our prayer, deliver us."
Oh my God.
I just freaking invented the song for Prince of Egypt.
You just made me realize something very obvious. You said the Jews. I was like, wait, they were Jews? I was like, oh wait, yeah, the original Christians were Jews. So the people living in Egypt were Jews.
The Jews were enslaved by the Egyptians, and they had to march out in the desert.
Well, I'm used to seeing them called Israelites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they were Jews.
They were Jews.
Interesting.
They were in fact Jewish.
All that came from the word brave.
Impivid.
I think I had something to say, but I don't remember it.
It wasn't worth anything. Continue.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add to it?
Not that I can think of. Stangent. A heraldic animal in profile with head towards the viewer.
Oh, wait. I'm gonna backtrack on that. The other word was something with fearless, right? Or
yes.
something? Okay, so I remember what I was gonna say. I'm just gonna disregard this new word.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in my my theater class in middle school, it was 7th grade. I remember we were doing storytelling, and there was this one kid that no one liked this kid. Oh, I hope he doesn't hear this podcast. Okay, well, like, not that no one liked him, but he was one of those kids that, like, no one really wanted to talk to. Because he just...
Can't say that about
he just
people.
wasn't... I mean, the dude set himself up. I'm getting to there. He set himself up for this. We were getting to storytelling. And you could either pick a story from, like, your childhood or, like, from what's going on as hell. Or you can go, like, find a story that's published and just retell it. You know, like, memorize it and retell it and whatever. And I chose one about, like, a knight or something. And this one kid, I won't name drop him though, but he decided to tell a story about his birthday. And it was so painfully made up. And like, it was supposed to be a true story from your childhood if you were to tell, or like from your life, if it was going to be about yourself. It was so painfully made up that like midway through everyone had turned against him and like no one wanted to listen anymore because he was because he just was going more and more absurd trying to make it sound interesting. And
like what do you mean?
Like
everyone loved me and they marched around me in a circle saying we love Jacob, we love making up that name.
He was talking about his birthday and how he was gonna go on they were going out as a family. And, like, they left him behind, and that, like, he got upset, so he started, like, smashing things around his house. But, like, things just weren't adding up. I can't recall certain details, but he was, like, also contradicting himself. Like, one person was there, but then in the next part of the story, they weren't there when they were supposed to be. And, I don't know, the reason why it comes back to the word fearless, I just completely off track from that, was the story I told was about a fearless knight. And for some reason, that reminded me of that. But, and one thing that kind of goes off that was my theater teacher, which was interesting about him. I forget what branch, he was in the military, but he was kind of on call, where they could call him in if they needed him to do something, or just over the, like, summer or whatever. And I remember he was telling a story about his training. They had to do, like, Taser Training, where they had to kind of learn how to, like, disarm someone from a knife, or pick a knife up off the table while being tased. And it was a, controlled environment and whatever. And he was telling a story one time about they were using kind of training tasers that had a nub instead of a hook at the end of them when they shot out. And you would wear like a suit that you just practice aiming and shooting someone with a taser. And they ran out of the nub ones, and so they had to get more, and they accidentally grabbed the hook ones. And he was wearing the suit, and he got tased by like 3 people at once. Ooh. And he said he could smell himself cooking from the inside because they went through the suit because it hooked through. And he got tased by 3 people, and he cooked from the inside. And I don't know. It was just some screw memory.
I have a story.
Oh boy.
And Viv, you can tell it after this one, just because I love the contrast. One time I was tubing, right, and this was back whenever the world was good and good tubing? Things existed. Tubing. Yeah, it's whenever you get like a inner tube, and then you just get it and float on a river in it, Like, those pool tubes, inflatable? Yeah, it's like that, but just on a river. Huh. This was back whenever the world was good and it had good things in it. So we had, the Cheetos in a can? Like how they had the barrel of Cheetos?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they used to have Cheetos in a cardboard can.
What the hell?
Yeah, but they used to have those. I don't know what dimension you've been on for like the past, like, years of your existence. But yeah, so, I had the Cheeto can, and I'm just mowing through them, just like, I'm having such a great time, everyone else is having fun without me, I'm just having my Cheetos, because I have no friends there, and so I'm just nom, and then, this girl who came there, she's the spoiled little girl, she goes, hey, what are those? Cheetos? Yeah, what is that? You've never had Cheetos. No.
Bruh.
And then my mom's like, be nice, give her some. So I'm like, okay. And no, I didn't just give her some. I gave her the entire barrel because my mom peer pressured me to. And I'm like, okay, I hope I can see that back in a minute. And so, like, you know, since I'm a child, I still have the attention span of a friggin' piece of lint. So I'm just sitting there like, I'm on a river. And I'm like, 3 hours later, I'm like, I wake up from a nap because I fell asleep on cue. I'm like, where's my Cheeto can? And I'm like, Mom, where's my Cheeto can? Mom? Yeah? Where's my Cheeto can? What Cheeto can? We brought it with us on the trip, Mom.
Your mom crossed you.
And she said, it's not here anymore. I'm like, Well, I mean, surely, my friend must have saved me some, right? She's like, no. And I'm like, she ate all of my Cheetos. Like, I started getting, like, legit mad. I was gonna yell at her. Like, I was, like, getting out of the water to get up and yell at her. Mom's like, don't do that. She had to go to the bathroom, so she dumped out the Cheetos and went in the can. And I'm like, what? She's like, it's in the river. And I'm like, it's in the river. She dunked it in the river. That means it's in the water with us. I just
you napped.
I remember, because I just my mom just fatally, like, stabbed me in my heart twice. First of all, no more Cheetos. And then she said, oh, she pooped in them too. And ever since the incident, get this, I have not found Cheetos in a can anywhere.
Dude, she ended the whole line. Mr. Cheeto himself saw her pooping in the can and just discontinued the whole thing.
This is not where I intended.
Wait, hold on, viewers of the podcast. I'm sorry, I just have to show Matt that these existed, and Viv, because
I've never seen Cheetos in a can.
I have a story about like a what?
Yeah,
like
Cheeto can.
I've never had Cheeto can ever.
Yeah, and the dude was on the bike on the cover, and it was dangerously cheesy.
I mean, I remember him. I remember the bike, and I remember dangerously cheesy.
That reminds me of the Danimals commercials where they'd be on a bike.
Where did they put okay, so fun fact, did you know that the dude who won the Danimals sweepstakes, you know, where they could go on the cruise with Zach and Cody?
Yeah.
You know that he was from Puerto Rico, except the thing didn't work for Puerto Rico, so they just threw away the whole thing. You want nothing!
Oh my god. I have a story about like water parks and like tubing and stuff. This was in 6th grade. I don't know. I guess I won't name drop. I'll name drop him. It was my friend Nathan and this other kid. I won't say his last name. It was this kid Nathan and this other kid Robert that I knew. And we were in it was called rotations, where you do like choir, art, and then some like I forget what the other thing was, but it's kind of get a taste for all the different kind of elective pathways, kind of see what you want to do in the future. And every few months you just start a whole new class. It's kind of like a quarter semester thing.
Trial run.
Kind of, yeah. And it was choir was what we were doing. And there was at the end of that kind of class cycle, we got to go on a field trip to, I think, Splashtown, I think it was, or Schlitterbahn. And
it's the school trips to where I think it was Splashtown. Those are always hectic and terrible.
Yeah.
My friends ditched me, and I ate a snow cone so fast that I had to go to the bathroom and cry because I thought I was gonna throw up.
And so pretty much was my mom chaperoned for it. This was before she was working at her current job. This is when she worked more part-time, and so she could like do school stuff. She was one of the like involved school moms. And so she chaperoned along with us, and it was me, my friend, I wasn't too good friends with Robert, but then I knew Nathan pretty okay. And they kind of gave us kind of a set of rules to follow, like, but they like with like harsh punishments that they weren't going to follow through with. Like, if you leave your group, we're going to like leave you behind, or like
if you leave your group, we're going to drown you in the cave.
Yeah, like, you know, if you leave,
no witnesses.
Like, if you leave your group, we're going to like, you know, you're going to get suspended, and like they're not going to do anything about it. And so it was pretty much, but like we all kind of believed it. And so the moment we got split up into groups and we went off to do our own thing, this kid Nathan, he just ran. He just got out of Alcatraz or something. Like he just broke out of prison. Dude just bolted.
My boy just did that dude from To Kill a Mockingbird, where he just goes for it and just sprints for the fence.
Yeah, he just goes. And we're just like, oh my God, where did he go? And he's gone for the 4 hours we're there. We cannot find this kid. And so after like 30 minutes of searching for this kid, we just give up. We're like, not our problem. He ran off. If he drowned, whatever. And my mom is kind of stressed out because she's supposed to be watching the kids, you know. And the dude just boom.
He had to go put razor blades in all the slides.
Yeah, and
all
so
the slides.
And so then this other kid, Robert, I don't know what kind of sleep schedule he's on, but he looked like he hadn't slept in like a month. And so we get on the lazy river, which is me and my mom's favorite part of any kind of thing. We just sit on the lazy river and get on the, like, you know, the kind of the, what's it called, the like fast part of it? I don't remember.
Rapids.
Yeah, the rapids. And this kid, Robert, we had to like save him from drowning like twice.
Oh, damn.
Because he was falling asleep on his tube and like falling through the middle. And so we had to like constantly watch Robert because dude was passing out on the rapids. Oh, and we had to make sure this kid didn't drown. And so my mom stressed out about Robert drowning. And Nathan just...
Robert Downey Jr.
Right. and this other kid that just ran off. And so, like, at some point after that, we just stopped really caring because we're like, what? Let's not be stressed out. Let's actually have fun. If Robert drowns, cool. If Nathan gets lost, whatever. Let's have fun.
Robert drowns, cool.
Don't let them dampen our mood.
And so, like, we're still watching them, but, you know. And so 4 hours goes by, and there's kind of a call time, which we're like, we had to come back to meet up at a certain area to kind of, you know, get on the bus and stuff. We all show up. And Nathan's not there. like Robert's asleep at the bench, and Nathan's just not there. And we're like, where's Nathan? And so me and my mom go looking for him. We tell the teacher, hey, this kid must have just took a wrong turn. We need to go find him. She's like, okay, we'll be back in like 5 minutes. We're about to get on the bus. Like, we gotta go. It's closing down. And so we're just on a manhunt for Nathan. We find this kid at some, like, back corner, like, just vibing out. Looks like he just found some Adderall or something. And he's just vibing out at some back corner.
Wait, I need to know, did he look like he was, like, about to pass out because he was tired? Or, like, he was about to smash his head through a window because he was so hyped? Like,
he looked kind of, like, more hyped than tired. And
vibrating
he was back there because he was searching for his glasses. Apparently, he made it sound like his parents were just gonna like decapitate his toes if he like lost his glasses, and so then we were all stressed out trying to find his glasses, and so dude was freaking out he sounded like his parents were gonna like beat him if he lost his glasses. And so we're all like, my mom's double stressed now, and we're just so we never find his glasses, and he gets on the bus and stuff, and he's just Patti, are you okay? what killed her out of all that?
Oh. It's not like his parents are gonna beat him. He's gonna be beat within an inch of his life. No more toes for him. So we didn't find the glasses.
and so we get on the bus. I don't know what happened after that. My mom wanted me to ask him if he was okay the next day, but like how like guys don't talk like that. We just say, "You cool? Yeah, okay, cool." We're like, you know, girl. I don't know. It's just that whole thing of just guys not talking about
feelings.
I don't know. It's like my mom wanted me to ask him how he was, and so the next day I was just like, "Oh hey."
Yeah, guys don't just like, "Hey buddy, how you doing?"
Yeah. So the next day I was just like, "Oh hey, you have fun?" "Yeah, okay, cool." I went home and told my mom, "No, yeah, he's fine."
What if that event gave him like severe PTSD?
I don't know, but it was just that's something that always comes up when like my family's talking about just weird school stories. It's just, the one time we went to Splash Town and a kid almost drowned a few times, and then Nathan just bolted. And because we think that maybe like at home he just like was under constant supervision, and the moment he gets freedom, he's just and then like kind of reflects him how he acted when losing his glasses, like he was gonna die. It's like, well, no wonder he bolted.
I actually had that reminds me of like when I was little, I had the opposite like situation, sort of like where you said about like being constantly under supervision and finally like getting freedom. It was the opposite for me because so I was born in California, but when I was little I lived in Mexico with my grandma and like all my aunts and uncles and cousins. And every day I could literally just go out whenever the heck I wanted, and like we had like a really small neighborhood, so I would just like run around.
It was Mexico.
Yeah, it was Mexico.
Like small town Mexico.
Yeah, small town. Everyone knew everyone. It was kind of a fucked up place, but still.
Yeah.
So I could go wherever I wanted, do whatever, not get in trouble, and it was like really great. Literally the only time I can remember when I wasn't allowed to go out is, I don't know, one time there was apparently some kidnapper on the loose, and everyone was like, okay, stay indoors, stay inside, don't let your kids out, whatever. I was like, guess we can't go out today. And then, like, I think it was around that time when I had been out late, and when I came back, I was in trouble. I was like, why? I always do this. But, yeah, I was basically could do whatever I wanted. When I moved to California when I was, like, 6, about to turn 7, it was completely different because, like, obviously it was much bigger. There wasn't, like, a small neighborhood. It was, like, a city. And I suddenly, my stepmom, I was like a problem child because she didn't know how to discipline me because I wasn't used to having rules or anything. So I would get in trouble like literally every day.
I would love to do. I'm sorry to interrupt. I would love to do a podcast if you're fine with it, deep diving into your just completely fucked up childhood.
I mean, I would if like my mom never hears it.
I highly doubt your mom is looking up Soggy Boiz podcast.
Here's what I think. I think we should all just get in a circle one day around your mic, make this a podcast episode. We all just scream cry into like for like a full hour until all of our vocal
scream cry
cords,
and like just in here you hear bits of like our traumatic past.
Yeah, like, and you just all of our vocal cords permanently rip, and then with that all of our trauma is gone and we'll all be cured.
Like for me and Patty, since like I think you mentioned was that you like feel guilty like complaining at all about family or anything. I had that for like such a long time. We could just both like at like in our loudest voices like just say it at the same time. That way both of us know that no one can clearly hear what we're saying.
Exactly. Yeah. Matt, write this down.
We would have to meet at a location where none of our parents could hear what we're saying.
Maybe like a car in the parking lot of like.
Yeah.
Who goes to a Golden Corral? Who's been to a Golden Corral?
I went on Thanksgiving after I served homeless people Thanksgiving dinner. Patty.
I had, actually, hold on. Childhood memory.
Wait. Before you do, Caitlin would probably also really like to rant about family stuff.
Yeah,
so
probably.
sometime soon, we should all get in her car. And I can, set my mic up in there with her laptop, and we can all just talk about our fucked up families.
Yeah. No, I might not like sit down and talk about some of that stuff just because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's stuff that I don't really want to get into. But I'm all for just like straight up screaming in your mic for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like just like into the mic.
Upload that.
But yeah. Another vivid memory I have. Most of these memories are from my grandpa being in the hospital. We went to a Luby's, and I remember...
I don't like Luby's. Ever since they stopped selling Icy Orange at the Luby's, I stopped going.
Yeah, so I went there, and I remember just being so upset because I was like, my grandpa, this isn't good. And I just remember, like, the only things they were serving that day was, like, bottom of the barrel. I'm talking, like, broccoli and Jell-O. Like, not broccoli and Jell-O, broccoli inside of Jell-O.
Oh, my God.
And one of these things was straight up liver and onions. You know liver and onions, right?
Never
My grandma loves liver and onions. I had to sit next to her while she ate liver and onions as I was trying to hold back tears, like, oh no. But I have to say that the weirdest place that I've cried is inside of a train bathroom, and I was getting really into it. This is a segue. I was getting really into it, like full on, like, yeah. Like I wasn't making noise, but it was like I couldn't breathe. Like, my eyes were, like, feeling like bruises because I was closing my eyes so tight and stuff. I'm like, ah. And in the middle of this episode, the train hit a bump. And I just went flying and I smashed my head against the window. Like, it didn't break because it was plastic. But I started smashed it and then just fell on the ground. And, this was, like, during a family train ride. So I just, like, got out. I just sat. And everyone's like, you doing all right? I'm like, yeah. Like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I had to blow my nose. And they believed it. But I had a panic attack in a train, and then God reassembled me. He really said Lego dropping noise.
Reset.
That kind of reminds me, whenever I was on the flight back from California when I went to go visit you, I poop once a week, and but it's just how often I have to poop, and so nothing's wrong with me, but
viewers, please comment how often you poop down in the comments below.
Hopefully. But like before I got on the flight to go see Vivi, I took a big poopy, and so then I didn't have to poop for the whole week that I was down there. So I just didn't poop while I was in Fresno. And when I got on the plane back home, I was like, damn, I gotta go. And oh my God, I blew up that plane's bathroom. Dude, that thing stank. It It was so bad that the flight attendant had to check on me and be like, you gonna come out anytime soon? I was just like, give me a minute, as there's just poop all like the toilet is full of poop. And just, it was so bad.
You have more courage than, like, any, like, U.S. Marine. Like, straight up, I would, like, I'm not joking, I would rather commit suicide than go poop in a public restroom. Like, even worse if friends are like, oh, I gotta go too. No, you don't. Get out.
Like, I don't know how to explain how bad that poop was in that toilet. Like, that plane had to be deep cleaned probably afterward.
They had to burn the plane.
Burn the plane.
Reinstall the bathroom.
Yeah, reinstall the bathroom. You want to generate another word? Unless you have something else to say. I think we have enough time for, like, one more word.
Let's see. We'll just, like, rush through some and just tell me if you want me to stop. Runology, the study of runes. Defervescence, abatement of heat, coolness, decrease of fever. Rudstay, strap over horse's back to which a wagon can be attached.
Oh, damn, you really just, like, you just breathed life back into Patti.
Okay, so, in Girl Scouts, I'm actually, like, kind of scared about telling this story. They've probably heard it before, but I'm scared about telling this story because legit some girl threatened to slit my throat if I ever told it to anyone.
Go
but
for
here,
it.
We're YouTube time.
Go for it.
Girl Scouts, dear God, we went to this place. It was a place with horses. I'm not going to name it or else people are going to show up there and try to kidnap the children as souvenirs or something. But, so we were out there, we went horse racing all day, and since it was near Halloween, they had a haunted house in one of the barns. So everyone's like, oh, we got a haunted house! And they were, like, begging the troop leaders to go. And so the troopers were like, okay, fine, let's go. And we were terrified. Like, straight up, there were, like, smoke machines, but they had, like, intestines and stuff. It's like, oh, they're gonna get you! And, like, there's some, like, girls, like, screaming and peeling off, like, a fake face. Like, this wasn't for kids. So we're, like, freaking out, like, ah! And then, the troop leaders, okay, good night, kids, and they went and slept in their tank. You know, the troop leader's daughter, who was always, like, a huge, like, narc to the rest of us, went and slept with her mom. And we were all just in this cabin, alone, no lights, no technology, freaked the hell out, because we were convinced, like, oh my god, the clowns are gonna get us. And, you know, I'm trying to play it off, like, I'm trying to be funny, instead of deal with it, because that's what I do whenever things get too scary. Y'all know that, like, if something's wrong, I'm, like, making jokes the whole time. And so, these girls are freaking out, like, oh my god. And some girls like, but I gotta go to the bathroom. Me too. Like, everyone else is like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And you see, fun fact about me, I am a straight up camel. I will not go into a bathroom unless I have to. So I'm fine. I'm not going into the weird woods. Because it was like, we weren't in cabins. It was like, there was a wooden platform with tent draped over it. So, like, yeah, we were up so raccoons couldn't get us, but bugs could, like if a raccoon wanted to, could just, like, come into our tent and, like, eat our faces or something. And so, we're surrounded by woods. There's no lights. And there's a porta potty in the far distance where there were roaches. Like, it's terrible. Oh. And so, the girl's like, I don't want to go to the bathroom. I don't want to go to the bathroom. And so, I jokingly say, as I'm laying my pretty little head against my pillow, I say, why don't you just pee in the corner then? What? Why don't you pee in the corner then? You know, it's we got a platform, we got a cape over it. Like, it's they're not gonna find you. We're outdoors, man. Just go for it. Like, you know, I'm just joking. You know. I hear the zipper of someone's pants, and then just a conga line of just children pissing on the floor. It must have been like 5 of them. Oh my god! Once I hear it, I, like, legit, like, I feel my entire body go numb, which, small segue, but I realize that's, like, an anxiety tick I have now. Like, just randomly, I get, like, shivers down my spine, like, at least, like, 3 times a minute when I'm at school, and I don't think that's very healthy. But anyways, so, I'm in shock. I'm traumatized. There are kids pissing on the floor. And so, I just remember, like, covering my ears, like, shaking violently. Like, I was like, oh my god, why are you guys doing this? This shouldn't be happening. Like, I just remember saying, like, this shouldn't be happening over and over again. And the girls were like, well, you told us to do this. And at the end, when they're all done pissing on the floor, like, I was covered in piss. And then I'm just sitting in my bed. Like, my feet are tucked up, like, in the blankies. Like, I'm like, oh my god. Like, I'm just shaking. And this one girl who She's so scary. She turned around to me. She was one of the girls that pissed on the floor. She turned around to me and said, "If you tell anyone about this, I'll say you did it, and I'll slit your throat."
Oh my god.
She threatened to slit my throat.
Damn.
And this is like 3rd grade. So I'm like, this girl's gonna slit my throat. It might have been 4th grade.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I'm like, this girl's gonna slit my throat, because like, it's not like kindergarten where it's like, I'm gonna slit your throat. Oh yeah, I bet you will. Play-Doh knife. Like this.
Play-Doh knife.
This girl's scary. Straight. Stunning. Like, frightening. So yeah, that deeply traumatized me, and fun fact, that girl's now a, president at a very high up organization at my school. I'm not gonna say which one.
Oh damn! I guess she. You know what? You can take her down. You
I mean,
have the information.
I do have that ace in my pocket, but I mean, she's been nice since then. She must have had other stuff going on. But yeah, I'm not gonna say which organization it is, of course, but.
Damn.
Yeah, it's so weird because I used to be in it, and she just straight up acted like nothing happened.
And well, because she knew that you knew.
Yeah, it was so scary too. Like I said, nothing on the car ride home. Like, it was, oh god, that will forever sit in my brain. Just trauma.
Well, I have a sort of similar thing.
I don't want to hear
no,
it.
you were there. I mean, it was at the side of the Walmart. That kid, that dad who had his kid pee on the side of the Walmart that he works at.
Also, I'm sorry, but today we went to Walmart and there was this woman sobbing at a table
on the
phone.
The tax return.
Yeah, it was a tax season, and they had the Walmart tax desk set up where you can go and they do your taxes. And there was this Asian couple sitting there, like they
when just looked all serious and like.
Yeah, they look like who said that they looked like they were kids who knew they did something wrong?
Me, I was like, they look like they're just like these kids who knew they did something wrong. They're just like sitting there with like straight faces.
Yeah, and the tax lady was sitting there with a phone buried in her hair, and she had like her hand over her eyes, just crying.
And then I like Matt. I can hear Matt like in the background, and so
he
I'm
like
I'm
actually
trying not to
laughed. I was like,
I'm trying not to laugh, and so we walk outside, and I'm like, it's okay, we're not gonna laugh, and then I'm gonna try to mimic it. We just hear coming out of some dude's car.
The guy was like walking on the street like
most
nearby.
Aggressive coronavirus cough.
That man shredded his trachea with that cough.
But yeah, Vivi, if you have something else to add, any last touches before we end this episode?
Vivi, I feel like you should give the final ending story. I feel like
it can be any story. It don't even have to be similar. Just tell a story.
Okay.
All the pressure's on you.
Matt, I swear to God, leave her alone.
Okay, so when I was about 7 or 8, when I was little over there in California, my dad once, when he was driving home from work, he found 2 kittens on the side of the road. I think their like mom had died or something. He found 2 kittens, so he put them in his truck and brought them home. We named them Popcorn and Palomito, which Palomito is Spanish for popcorn. So they both had the same name.
Spanish popcorn.
Yeah, my favorite was Palomito because he was just more like a people person, and he was also chubbier. The other one, he was like kind of the same colors as Oreo, except like a lighter gray, and just much fluffier. Popcorn was like all white basically, and not very like he didn't want you touching him or anything. But anyways, they're like my first pets in California, and in 2nd grade, I think we had like this project where like the students had to like write a story. You know how they make you like write a story and then draw pictures and they laminate it for you, like for Mother's Day or whatever. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like that, where you had to write a story and then they ended up making it into like a little book for you. And I think me and my sister both and we were in 2 different grades. I was in 2nd grade, she was in 3rd, but we both won the writing award for our grade, or just for like the whole project. And it's because we had both written the same story. We both wrote about our 2 cats. And so at the school president's office, or like where the nurse is and everything, we had like our 2 books framed there because we had won. I actually don't think I had even known we won until like one day we went over there. I was like, what are our books doing there? I was like, oh yeah, you guys won. So that I just remember that when you were talking about I forgot what you were talking about, but I remembered that.
Damn.
But yeah, so me and my sister both won like a little writing award for writing about our cat.
Why do I feel like your mom was involved in y'all both winning? That'll go into if you ever do talk about your whole family stuff. That'll make sense why I think your mom probably had something to do with both of y'all winning.
I'm sure that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, me and my sister, when we were like little, my mom made us like wear the same clothes, like the same clothes but just different colors. My sister would get all the cute girly colors, and I would get like the tomboyish, like, you know, blue and green colors, which I like now. But like back then, I was like, why can't I be the girly one?
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I guess that should be good. If y'all want to say any kind of goodbye anecdotes.
Yeah, a question. I have a question for both you guys and the viewers at home. I don't know if we should leave it unanswered or if we should answer it on the podcast. Did y'all ever have that one kid that like it was a different kid every time? It was a different martyr, if you will, every time. Every field day, they ended up pissing themselves.
I never had anyone. I never had
every year.
I never had anyone pee themselves at a field day.
If you didn't have it, you were probably the kid. No, just kidding.
They ran so fast and so hard that they just pissed themselves. Like it happened like there's one kid every year. Anyways, but that's
I feel like I might have done that one time. I think I
Please don't tell me you were the field day kid, baby. Please. You're the one person I respect in this friend group.
I was the kid who peed in the pool.
Everyone pees in the pool.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
cool.
I
But
pee
like
in the pool.
I peed in the pool when it was like just me and my two siblings, and my mom very much ostracized me for it.
What did you announce? Hey, I peed in the pool.
No, I told my sister, and she was like, ew, and she told my mom on me. And
God.
Snitch.
But no, for like on field day, I was always the kid that just like outperformed everyone in a jump rope.
Why do I feel like that would be something you'd ask for?
And so I would just shit on everyone in the jump roping to where I would always get first place and just keep going even though everyone else is like gave up. It's like when you do it, when you like miss one or like can't stop, you have to sit down. And I was the last one. I just kept going. I just kept going until I couldn't no more.
Maybe the kid who pissed himself that year pissed himself in an utter amazement of your jump roping abilities.
Yep. I could jump. Dude, oh my god, I was so good at jump.
Everybody gangs it till Jackson pisses in the potatoes.
I have a question. What was like y'all's favorite field trip?
Field trip? Oh,
School field trip.
it was the one time. It wasn't even my field trip. My sister was in this Catholic private school that I have no clue how my dad afforded. It was $7,000 a year. I have no clue what kind of illegal stuff he was pulling to get her in this school, because my sister was like my dad's like last hope of raising like a religious traditional religious child before my brother decided to be really religious. And Patty, you look like you saw a ghost.
But Patty's going through something.
I remembered something.
Oh, she
very repressed.
Okay. And it was a field trip to our natural history museum, and they got since they were a really rich prestigious school, they were able to fly down a famous paleontology from Egypt. She just got back from Egypt.
Paleontologist.
What did I say?
You said paleontology.
Oh, oops.
It is the entire study of paleontology.
Okay, paleontologist down from Egypt. And cause she was studying the pyramids and mummies and currently digging them up.
Archaeologist then, not a paleontologist.
Wait, hold on. What am I getting mixed up? Hold on.
Stop. Just keep the story going.
Okay. And so they flew the Egypt lady down. I call her the Egypt lady. They flew her down. And
this is Egypt, if you will.
And they we got access to the to some mummies that they actually had in the basement of the museum to look at them and go through them and stuff. And so I was and the thing is that they didn't say we couldn't bring a guest. My sister couldn't bring a guest, so I just showed up and they let me in.
That's funny.
So I was just the one kid not dressed up. Because everyone had to wear their uniform, and I just came with my ripped up jacket and some jeans, and my mom was chaperoning because she did all the chaperoning for school stuff. And so I was just there, and I got a whole presentation and lecture about mummies and the mummification process, and like from someone who was super qualified and famous, who like just came from Egypt. That's their job, and I didn't even go to the school. What was your repressed memory?
Okay, I think this is a good one to end this on. This should have ended 10 minutes ago. We shouldn't even be at this point.
This will be the.
But this memory that I uncovered. We went to the Children's Museum of Science or something like that, and I remember the two very vivid things I have from that is I walked past an incubator, and there was a bunch of eggs with cell phones next to them.
What?
I don't know what that served, but I remember being so scared. Like, I was like, legit, I don't know why looking at these eggs next to cell phones scared me, but like the eggs were vibrating and the phones were like flashing screens. And I don't know what that means, but it deeply frightened me.
It sounds like artistic, someone trying to say something about social...
Or maybe it was a thing... Remark. It may have been like a thing where someone was like, oh, cell phone radiation gonna ruin the eggs.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then here's the other memory I have.
Oh boy.
There was this cow.
Oh,
a cow.
A cow. It was a giant plastic cow with rubber udders. And we had to practice milking said cow, right?
No.
And so, you know, we all go up there. We'd do and 2 little squirts of water would come out, and we'd go back to the back of the line, and we'd get to milk it twice. This kid, we were on a second go around. This kid, 3 spaces in front of me. By the way, I shouldn't remember this. I was 3 years old when this happened. This is how traumatizing it is. This kid, 3 spaces in front of me. His second go around, dives for the cow. Straight up, no, like dives into the cow. And starts sucking from the teat of the cow himself.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he just drinking straight bleach water out of this cow's tit.
Oh god.
So yeah, and then we had to leave the cow. We couldn't do that anymore.
He ruined it for everyone.
Oh my, that was the best thing to leave it off on. No one say anything else.
The teacher, here's the thing. Here's the crown jewel of this experience. The teacher had to pull him off. But he was biting onto it. So when she was holding his entire body there, she's like, Jamie, you stop that! And he's just holding on with his little 3-year-old teeth onto his tit.
That dude must have got like some Vietnam flashbacks, and he was into the PTSD.
Kid's still alive today. I don't know if that mysterious cow water killed him.
Do we want a kid like that still around?
I wonder if he remembers that he did that.
What if it's Matt?
Just me? What if it was me?
Matt.
Oh boy.
Repressed memory.
Oh my god. But I think that's the perfect thing to leave it off on.
Yes.
This has been the 8th episode of the Soggy Boiz podcast, and of course, I'll link your Patty's TikTok in the description if you want me to.
YouTube channel.
And YouTube, but also if you want me your TikTok.
Best not forget it.
I'll be linking my Instagram, which all my photography work is up on there. And also I'll be linking the print shop, and then also I'll put down there also Vivi's. What do you want down there? Your Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So everything will be linked there. Next episode, I want to do with Caitlin. I know I said last time that the next episode would be with Caitlin, but then this goofy fellow Patty just decided to just ruin everything.
Yeah, I had to tell y'all about the teat.
So the next one, Caitlin should be down here soon. So most likely the next one will be with Caitlin, and that'll be fun. I don't know if it'll just be her or it'll be other people as well.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So just keep a lookout for that. And thank y'all for listening. This has been the 8th episode. Everyone say bye.
Bye.